Hi, everyone. Welcome to Merge Gallery. My name is Robert Langdon, and this is the artist discussion and virtual tour for Petit, which is my annual small show, smaller size show. So what we have here is 60 plus, almost 70 artists in the show, all different styles, all different mediums. I'm going to go through each of the pieces in the show, and I'm being joined here by a number of artists who are going to discuss their work, tell you a little bit about the work. All of the work is available on artsy.net, um, where you can see the work that we're going to be presenting today. Also at the gallery, we'll be here. The work will be on the walls for the entire month of November. So come on by and check out the work. There's additional pieces as well on Artsy that are not on the gallery walls. And we are featuring works by New Jersey artist Robert Greco, who has a series on the back wall of a number of smaller pieces. So let's get going. I am getting feedback. Hold on. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick little run through of the gallery, show you what's on the walls, and we'll start with the window. We have a special exhibit of brand new sculptures in the window by Woodstock artist Anne Morris. Outside, you can see those really wonderful ceramic sculptures. And then in the window is also, I don't know if you can see that, but it's an original poster by Christopher Ballas, who is an artist here in Saugerties. And shout out Saugerties has connected local artists with local businesses to bring attention to different social issues. So I have selected healthcare is a human right for the gallery window. So these are works by Anne Morris. And then I will give you a tour of the wall. This is Arabella, who you'll be seeing in a little bit. There is quite a bit of work in the show. They're all small pieces. Every year, usually around the holidays, galleries and different organizations have their small show. Small work is perfect for giving at the holiday season. The back wall here, this is work by Robert Greco. These are some small acrylic abstract pieces. All different styles and mediums. We have some small sculptures, we've got some fiber art, acrylic, oil, collage. It's important to me that I offer a nice diversity of work that represent the artists in the area, but it's also very important to me that work well together and that they speak to each other. And that's actually one of my favorite parts about doing this is hanging a show. I'll surround myself with the art and let it speak to me. Put that first piece up, and then the second piece will tell me who it wants to be, and it goes from there. This one took me 4 days to hang, so a little slow on that today. Okay, so let's take a close look at the work in the show. So we're going to, let me bring up the Artsy page to give you an idea of what this looks like. All right. Google Chrome, here we go. Okay, so this is the main page for the Petit show. And you'll scroll down right now, it's all in alphabetical order, which is the order that we are going to go in today. So the first piece, this is a piece by Gertrude Aberson. Gertrude is an artist here in Kingston, I believe. She's got two pieces. This is the first piece. And then we have our second piece right here. This is called Dancing Waters. These are both collage pieces. Gertrude has a little dark side, which of course I'm immediately drawn to. That's Gertrude Abramson. We have two pieces by Ake Ardenal. This is a new artist for me. I haven't exhibited his work before, but it's really wonderful. This small piece has a lot of really great texture to it that I don't think the image is really doing it justice. So these are the two pieces by Ake Ardenal, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I believe he's Swedish, living here in the States. We have two pieces by Laura Avello. This is called Blue Barn. These are both watercolor pieces. And then the second piece we have is called Across the River. Laura has some really, really wonderful smaller landscape pieces. I'm so drawn to her work. This is by Lowell Barr. Lowell Barr has a number of pieces. I've exhibited lots of work by Lowell. So she's one of my favorite artists in the area. But you know what? The artists are like children. I can't say that they're my favorite. So but I love Lowell's work. She's so prolific. She has a real soft side and she has a bit of a dark side. She does a lot of illustrations, and this is an oil piece, which I'm really, really pleased to have because Lowell's been really experimenting with digital work lately. So I'm glad that she is getting back to doing some traditional works on canvas. So I'm very pleased to have this, and this is called the Money Honey. All right, next we have Harriet Foreman Barrett. Is Harriet here? Are you here,
Yes.
Harriet?
Yep.
You are, give a wave. Oh, I see you. Okay. Let's bring you on. All right, great. So Harriet has two pieces in the show. This is this piece is called Victory, I believe. Yeah. And then there's another piece called Stretch. Unfortunately, I don't have Stretch online right now, but what I'm going to do is bring you over to the piece to show you. It's really a gorgeous piece. It's a bronze sculpture.
Thank you.
Really gorgeous. Let's have a look at the top too. Oh. Okay, it's so odd just carrying this laptop around. It thinks it's a camera. Okay, so Harriet, please tell us about the sculptures.
Well, can you hear me? I do. I'm unmuted, right?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for having me again. I really love it. I hope I didn't mess up. And I thought that one, Victory, is supposed to be an artsy only. So I only brought one up to the gallery.
Oh, no, Victory is on artsy only, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we have Stretch here at the gallery, and then Victory is an artsy exclusive.
Okay, so I did it correctly, thank you. I work in wax, like Rodin did. I don't work in clay, so it's not as immediate as clay would be. It's very time consuming, either by taking big chunks of this blocks of wax and cracking it, and then putting some of it in hot water so that I can knead it and work from it, or melt it and pour it into different shapes over plaster and then pull it. But I love the process. It's a very meditative way to work. So a Victory and is about us and our spirit, and that reach. I've always worked from that spiritual element. And so she was about when a friend had lost her both breasts to cancer. And despite it, we are victorious. So I wanted to show the meat of who we are, the grounded, that we're full. It's not just the modeled style person, it is real women. It's the depth of owning ourselves and what we can overcome to become or be.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you, Harriet.
Mhm. Thank you.
I'm really pleased to have it. It's a gorgeous piece. If you, if you're in the area, please come see it. The photos definitely do not do it justice.
Well, you don't have that one.
No, the stretch.
Stretch, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, stretch is about that inner reach to work from within to become more.
Yes.
And that's what I work with. And if you could show that other one again, you'll see that I actually crochet a lot of things. And then I add it to I dip it in the wax and add it to my sculpture. So the other one, Stretch, which is in the gallery, has this pulled open fabric to show the stretching and the reaching, even more so than just the format of the figure. So yeah, that's one of the techniques I use as well.
I'm sorry, Harriet, I'm trying to bring it up. There we go, hold on. Well, do you see the piece here?
That's Victory.
That's Victory. Okay, oh, you wanted to bring Stretch up again. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's bring it up. Here you go. Victor, Stretch is the one that's here at the gallery.
Yeah, now if you could turn it around, then you could see that the material texture much more. There you go.
There you go.
So you can see how I added on to my figure once I've been working with it, and then brought it through to carry that reach, the power of that reach. Thank you.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Harriet. Next, we have, Sarah. Sarah Boltolada. Is Sarah here?
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. Let me wave to me so I see you. Oh, there you are. Great. Hi, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Welcome. So Sarah has two pieces in the show. So this is the first piece, and then this is the second piece, Starfall. The other piece is called Crescent Mini. And I'm gonna just scroll in real quick so you can see some of the details here. Really, really gorgeous. All right, tell us a little bit about them.
Hi, I'm a ceramic artist. I mostly hand build. These are slab forms that have a slight curvature to them. Typically, I work a bit larger, but large for me is about a 14-inch diameter. And I do tiles as well as these disc forms. This past year, I've been playing with the disc form a lot. Something about the circle feels very appropriate, I think, just in life as well as in my work. My work is really splatter painting that I then go and outline the splatter marks. I work in watercolor as well. I don't typically show those. They are more sketches for me, and they really inform my ceramic work in that I splatter the pigment, whether watercolor or ceramic slips, onto the surface, and then afterwards, after it's dried or it's been fired for the first firing, I go in and I outline. So the pieces in the show are black slip that are then outlined with a gold luster after the glaze firing. And I really enjoy playing with the broad and energetic wild movements of splattering surfaces, and then the very tight, timely practice of having to outline every mark that has been laid on the porcelain.
They're beautiful. And again, it's I'll come in a little closer so you can see some of the detail here. They're really beautiful.
Thank you.
Where are you based?
I'm from Hudson, New York.
Hudson. Okay, great.
Yeah,
yes,
so
that's
very
right.
local.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Mhm. All right, our next piece. Oh, these are by Leslie Bodsey. Leslie is an artist that splits her time between New York and Houston. These are two pieces from she does a lot of 3D work. These are from 3D printers. This one is called Albers Unpacked. It's a 3D sculpture. And actually these are more, these deserve to be seen in person. So I'm gonna bring you over to them. This is the pink bag. And then Albers is over here. This is Albers. Okay. That's Leslie Bodsey. I also have a larger collection of Leslie's work on artsy.net. So please have a look there. Our next artist is Taylor Kasiki. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is called My Happy Stupor. It is a drawing and collage. The second piece is called Euthanasia with a Y-O-U-T-H. I like this. It reminds me of like a little Rascals punk. All right. And you are seeing, I just want to make sure that you are seeing that, the art. Okay, great. All right. Marjorie Cohen. Marjorie, are you here?
Hi, yes, I am. Hi, Robert.
Wait, hi, how are you?
Good.
Let me find you. I'm so glad to have these. I know, Marjorie, I know from Red Bank. I used to run a gallery over in Red Bank. And just love Marjorie's work. She does some really wonderful sculptural pieces. This is the first. We've got this is the baby walrus. And then the third one we have is the cat on a horse. So welcome, Marjorie. Tell us a little bit about the pieces, about your work.
All right. Well, the first one you showed, it's about this big. And I started making a series of these things I called pocket feelies, and you just keep it in your pocket. Some of them are just shapes so that you can feel. Say you're talking to somebody, you don't really want to listen to them, so you just sort of feel that thing in the pocket. And then I started thinking, well, it could be symbolic of other things too, and you can hold it in your pocket to bring love or embrace in your life. So I like the fact that it's so little. That's made of clay, stoneware, the same stuff they make dishes out of. And then I hand painted it, or I just sort of tinted it with oil paint. Now we can go on to another one, and that's the baby walrus. If you can see, it's made with also a little bit of metal. These are tiny, like almost thread-sized wires that are his whiskers. And I guess it's self-explanatory. This piece is quite a bit larger than the other one of the couple embracing. And it's another clay piece with glaze on it, dabbled on. And think about working in clay. I paint too, but when you work in clay, you don't really know what it's going to look like till it comes out of the kiln. A painting, you finish it, it's done, that's it. With clay, there's a little more mystery to it and chance. And this is an older piece, and it's I've been influenced by Japanese netsuke, and I tried to imitate that sort of ivory look. Yeah, so that's about what I have to say about my work.
Great. I'm really pleased to have your work here again. I want to bring in some more, and these fit perfectly into the show. And I'm going to be making a trip down your way soon. I'd love to stop by and say hi, see what you've been up to.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Marjorie.
Yeah, I'll mute myself.
Okay. Next, we have Marie Cole. Marie is a wonderful artist here in the area. She does a lot of pastels. She does some monoprints. These are two smaller, well, one smaller landscape piece that that Marie's done. And this one is 11 by 14, I believe. Tom Collins. Tom, I just saw. Tom was just in the gallery. Are you here, Tom?
I am.
I see you. Okay, great. Let's bring you in spot here. Welcome. This piece reminds me so much of Wildwood, New Jersey.
Yes.
Like the Jersey Shore. And I think that we talked about that the other day. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration for this. It's a photograph, but it's very painterly.
Well, it's a digital painting actually from, and I often paint either architecture or someplace in the outdoors that when I'm wandering around strikes me as visually interesting. And there was a rainstorm and it was evening and it just cleared and I was walking down to the beach and there were these cabinets on the beach and the sky was clearing and it was made an impression on me. So I did this painting of it. And it's a digital painting. It's printed on a archival Canon printer with 200-year inks. And that's my medium of choice these days. And I approach it much like when I paint with oils. I use a stylus and it's on a screen. And I have a palette and I pick colors from the palette and I paint them without all the linseed oil and turpentine.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Tom has I've included a few pieces of Tom's in some of the other shows as well. So have a look at Artsy, and there was a really wonderful piece in the landscape show of Tom's that I really enjoyed a lot. Sort of looking through the forested houses.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Good to see you.
By the way, the show was, I stopped in earlier, as Robert said, and it was great to see everything in person and see the show the way it's hung. He did a really great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to welcome Arabella here. Arabella is a photographer here in Saugerties. This is the real thing. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her process in the photograph. Hi, Arabella.
Hi. Well, I work in film. I work in the darkroom, traditional darkroom photography. I don't do digital. And this is the Royal Danish Library in Copenhagen. And it's a wonderful building architecturally. And I fell in love with it and took pictures when I was there.
Wonderful. Arabella, tell me, I have a show on Artsy of Arabella's photographs of the wall dogs of San Francisco. Arabella, tell us a little bit about the series.
Sure. In the early 90s, an anonymous artist was painting these wonderful dogs all over the city on walls and fences. Woebegone, wonderful dogs. And I took lots of pictures of them, and that's the show.
Yeah, it's really a wonderful show. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and these images of dogs would just pop up all over the place on buildings, active buildings, abandoned buildings. And I immediately recognized them, and it sort of brought back some really great fond memories when Arabella showed them to me. So I'm really pleased to share them with everybody else. So have a look on Artsy, and you can see there's about 30 plus photos of Arabella's in the Wall Dog series. Thanks, Arabella.
Thank you.
This is by Isabella Cotarello. Isabella is an artist in Kingston, and Isabella uses a lot of mixed media. She's been experimenting a lot with 3D pens. You can see some of it here, how she's been experimenting with it. It's a sculptural piece that goes on the wall from a whole series, and this is another piece as well from Isabella. Maxine Davidovitz. Maxine, Maxine's not here. Maxine started a new series. This is done since COVID, and she's been taking some walks every day since March. And one of the things that she's been noticing is sort of the way that man-made materials and nature interact. And she's been paying a little bit more attention to that, really exploring the whole detail of painting, because a lot of her work is very abstract. So she's been real challenged with this whole series to bring in some detailed work. So this is one of the pieces in the series, and then this is another piece. This is a pipe. These are two works by Shelley Davis. Shelley Davis lives here in Malden. This is called Main Street, and from what I understand, I was just told that this was Main Street in Saugerties at some time ago. They evidently had a fountain on Main Street for the horses to drink out of. So I'm actually going to have to ask Shelley if that's true and that this is Main Street. But it sounds good, so I'm going to go with that. But I will ask her for real. This is a second piece of Shelley's. This is called Child's Play 2. Child's Play 1 was in the last show. This is a bit of a surprise for me because I had no idea that Shelley had a little bit of a dark side. So this is her little dark side peeking through. Nancy DeFlan. Nancy, I saw you come in. Are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. I got to find you. Here you are. Okay,
I'm
great.
on top of you, so to
Oh,
speak.
wonderful. Welcome, Nancy. Nancy is a photographer here in Saugerties. Nancy's a wonderful landscape photographer. These are two of her pieces in the current show. And this one is just gorgeous with the rainbow. So yeah, welcome, Nancy.
Thanks. This is a place I photograph a lot, and you just never know what kind of light you're going to find. And this particular day was at the beginning of the foliage season, and it was overcast. I thought it was interesting. I took the picture. You could not see those colors. They were very, very faint, very pale, and I thought that it was just the beginning of the foliage turning at different times that made the bands. When I uploaded the picture then to my computer, then I saw these colors. And then I realized that, in fact, there was a rainbow up there in the sky that you couldn't see the rainbow up there, but it was actually reflecting on the mountain. So that's where the name of the picture comes from, somewhere under the rainbow. And this is in the same general area. This is another place of this tree. I love this tree. I photograph this tree a lot. And again, you get different kinds of light, slightly different compositions and things like that. But what I was inspired to do by this, and the reason I photograph it so much, is I was inspired by some of the Hudson River painters, particularly Asher Durand and Jarvis McEntee, made an awful lot of sketches of trees, rocks, trees and rocks together. And sometimes they did that because they were going to incorporate them into a larger work. But I've seen some of them live, and as it were, and they're beautiful for their own sake. And I just thought I wanted to try to do something like that. So I use different kinds of filters. I happen to like this particular kind of filter, but I've done some that look almost exactly like one of Jarvis McEntee's sketches. So I love trees, and there you are.
You don't disappoint, Nancy. two more good ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Timothy Ebnith. I've got two pieces from Tim. Tim is an abstract painter on the other side of the river, over around by Rhinebeck. These both have a very heavy application of acrylic, I believe. I have a few of Tim's pieces in some of the my previous shows as well. All right, now we have Kelly Edwards. I love these pieces.
Oh, thank you.
You can tell one of them's on the flyer. So this one here. This is the piece that we have in the gallery. Kelly, where are you? Wave to me so I can see you and bring you up. There you are. Oh, great. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us. It's from a series. How many are in the series?
Well, these are the two that are colorful, but I've been doing a lot of monochromatic trees, but it was just, everything's pretty much watercolor, which is what I work in primarily. And I do every once in a while ink things with like calligraphy pens and such, but this is all watercolor. And yeah, it was just funny because I've been doing everything monochromatic in that beautiful Payne's gray. And then a friend stopped by with this quote card to surprise me during the pandemic. And it had something in the quote about, you know, if we could see all the goodness, we would glow and it would light up the world. And next thing you know, I'm painting and this comes out and all of a sudden I'm using color. So I kind of feel like she has helped me and inspired me a little bit there to open up the palette a little bit and stretch and grow. And, you know, I've really enjoyed these. These are a lot of fun.
And there's a second in here as well, which is a ceiling. Yeah. But it's the whole the color experience in this is gorgeous. And you know, with the movement that you've been able to create with the watercolors is really just beautiful.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you. I'm pleased to have them. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay, these are by Andrea Geller. Andrea is an artist in New Jersey. She teaches at William Patterson University, and this is a series of pieces that she's been doing on maps. And it's a little bit of an exploration of immigration in the sense of place. As you can see, pull in a little bit here so you can see a little bit of the map. They're small pieces on panel, but they're all really, really gorgeous. I'm going to be doing a virtual workshop with Andrea later in the month in November. She's going to be doing a workshop with a live model on gestural figures. There will be information about that going out this week. So if you're interested, it's a very affordable class, and I think you'll enjoy Andrea's style. She's a great teacher, and she makes things easy. She keeps telling me, I can teach you to draw the figure. And I'm not an artist, so that's a bit of a challenge, I think. So these are by Andrea Geller. Also, if you like Andrea's work, I did a solo show for her. She has a whole series of bath portraits, about 36 or so oil pieces on panel, and they are different processes of getting in and out of a bath. That's Andrea Geller. Oh, and another Andrea Giaraputo. Did I pronounce that right, Andrea? I saw you here. There you are. You're on mute. Let's bring you up. There you are. Oh, you're still on mute, Andrea. You got on mute. There you go. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, welcome. I'm so pleased to have these back. I had some of Andrea's work in previous shows that were sold, and the two in this show are just so charming. I just love them. I don't really bring in much fiber art to the gallery, but you know, I really connect with Andrea's pieces. So please, Andrea, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for including me in the show.
Absolutely.
And for organizing this talk. The first one is inspired by an actual house on Elm Street in Saugerties. I like the architecture, in particular the mansard roof, which has the original slate tiles in a decorative pattern, which you don't see very often. And I had to get all the fabrics to work on this one because I've got some strong graphic prints. The roof, the facade, and the foreground are all strong graphic prints, and I had to get them all to work together which I did. And it's the largest piece of work I've done, and that presented challenges too, because I have big patches of fabric. When I work really small, the pieces of fabric are tiny, and the stitches in comparison are bigger. So that's that one. And the other one is Boyce's Farm in Saugerties, and they have a sunflower field there. And I love the fact that we have family farms nearby. Boyce's don't use chemical sprays, so their farm is a habitat for birds and insects, which is important, isn't it? And I was influenced by Shashiko stitching in this, which is a Japanese form of stitching, which is a repetitive geometric way of sewing, and it's very meditative and fun to do. So that was all the sunflower petals done like that.
It's really, really, really charming. I really like the little birds that you have here.
Yeah, they come from South Africa. There's a company that helps women, work in South Africa, and that's where they came from. They're handmade out of ceramic.
Beautiful. They're lovely. Thank you, Andrea.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Barbara Gordon. I have two works by Barbara Gordon. This is called Nightbird. It's a collage piece on wood. And then the second piece is called Cardinal. And the reason why it's called Cardinal is, I think, because this looks like a cardinal. At least that's what I saw. Beauty of abstract. You can bring in your own experience and see what you'd like in abstract. So these are both by Barbara Gordon. Speaking of abstract, these are a few pieces by Robert Greco, who is a New Jersey artist. I'm featuring Robert's work on the back wall. I have a nice collection of Robert's work on Artsy. Actually, let me show you real quick. I'll show you the back wall so you get a chance to see them all grouped up together. There you go. Robert's has a real way with color, and his images just really make me smile. So welcome, Rob. Tell us a little bit about these pieces. I brought up a few of them. So yeah, Robert's a designer as well, a fashion designer.
Thanks so much, Bob, and thank you so much for the feature. It looks really, really amazing. I'm really honored and touched by it. I love the way that you put it together. I know that you put a lot of time and effort in trying to get them to be compatible because they're not. So I tend to work in series. So one series doesn't necessarily work with the next series when you're looking at it as a collection. But this, the pieces that are up right now were, I actually did them pre-COVID, but it was also at a time where things were feeling very controlled. So I was just trying to let go and use a size that I don't usually use colors that I don't usually use, and use some of the textures that I don't usually use, but they all kind of came together and worked. So it was a challenge, and you know, I'm happy that you're pleased with them. Very.
I have actually two of them just sold today, just before we started. Two people were, and they spent quite a bit of time figuring out what they wanted, but yeah, they wound up choosing two that go match perfectly together.
That's great.
Robert's got some larger works as well on the Artsy site. He's a prolific painter and yeah, does commission works as well, I believe.
I heard you say a couple of times, Bob, that you know you're usually drawn to a darker side. Yeah. A lot of my pieces tend to be much darker and have a very black and white kind of thing. So these are a little out of the typical and ordinary of what I usually work on.
Yeah. Well, they're lovely. I'm really pleased to have them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. And congratulations on the sale.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, here's another one of Robert's. This is one of my favorites. I like this one a lot. Tom Hackett, Footprints in the Sand. I saw this and I just love the whole image of footprints in the sand. So of course I brought this one in. Welcome back, Tom. How are you?
Oh, great. Thanks.
Good to see you, Tom.
Thanks for including me in the show.
You got it.
I hope everybody else can see what I first saw when I brought this up on the computer after I had taken it in my camera. To me, it appears that many of these footprints are actually rising up from the sand. If I work at it, I can see them both ways. I think, yeah, with that kind of magnification, that one in the center, you can easily see that it's an ordinary footprint in the sand, but as we back away, it looks like it's popping out. So it's kind of an optical illusion that surprised me.
Yeah, I found it a different take on the whole footprints in the sand because of that, the rising feet. And then also it's interesting because when I went to hang it, I thought, am I hanging it the wrong way? Because you have it at a different angle where, than my eye would normally go to. And I needed to cross-reference it to make sure I was hanging it in the right way or that it was put in the frame the right way. But it's so different than what I'm used to with the whole theme of footprints in the sand that, I was immediately drawn to it.
Well,
And
great,
then the second piece as well is the blue bike.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And what I was aiming here for was simplicity. Trying to include as few details outside of the bike itself as I could.
Well, I think that, the bike itself carries a lot of great details.
Right.
Yeah, I think you captured it nicely. There's also, Tom has participated in a number of shows before, and you can look up some more of his work on Artsy. Thanks, Tom. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, I am going to I want to bring you over to Josefa Gutelius's work. Unfortunately, I don't have them up on Artsy right now, but I'm going to bring you to them in person. This is a triptych of Josefa's. Really love the yellows. Josefa, again, I shouldn't pick favorites, but she is one of my favorite artists in the community. And again, I tend to get drawn to a little bit of a dark side, and Josefa sometimes has that. But she's got a great way of really conveying just joy in a lot of her work, especially this one. This is called Dance. So these are by Josefa Gutelius. And I'm always pleased to be exhibiting Josefa's work. And if you ever come up to the Saugerties Artist Studio Tour, which I would certainly recommend, that takes place in April, be sure to make a visit over to Josefa's place. Okay, let's get back to sharing these. Okay, these are a few pieces by Melissa Harris. These are oil on panel. Beautiful little garden pieces. This is the first, and then this is the second. This is the Artsy exclusive. And then this is the one in the gallery. And I just really like the little pink pops in the gardens here. So this is Melissa Harris. And now we have Lynette K. Henderson. This is called Beach with Raven and Crow. And this is oil on panel.
No, actually, it's acrylic.
Oh, it is acrylic. Oh, you're here, Lynette. Great. Let me bring you on.
Yeah.
Wave to, oh, I see you. Yep. Oh, great. Good. I love this piece. Hi, Lynette. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please tell us about
Yeah.
this. This is the first piece, and then this is from a whole a series. I've seen there's a few of them. This one is Spotted Owl. So
Yeah,
please
they're
just-
actually two different threads of work. The thing that is the same for both is my focus on animals. But with this one in particular, I was thinking about the beaches, and actually I'm on the other coast, you know, the Pacific coast. So I was thinking about the massive amounts of trash and so forth that, you know, wash up and that we're having to deal with. But interestingly, sometime shortly after I completed this, which was just this summer, there was a discovery in the area around the Catalina Islands of 500,000 barrels of DDT that had been dumped. And so I was really shocked at this kind of, you know, sort of anticipated that a little bit. Nothing has washed ashore. They're very deep, like 3,000 feet down, but they just, we're looking at other things and discovered them, and they're leaking and so forth. So it's a serious, super fun, hopefully super fun site coming up. So this kind of anticipated that. But the other thread of work, which is the more Gothic frame pieces, I started doing that after visiting pre-pandemic. I was able to go to Lisbon and Barcelona and visited many of the Gothic cathedrals and such. And I was just so blown away by the incredible framing, basically. The framing, the gold, the icons, and I just started doing those with my animals, along with a little bit of a hint of environmental, you know, stuff that they have to deal with. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on here.
I really like the gold leaf here, and the whole, you know, throwback to the whole Gothic period, and how you just, you know, combine that with nature and something that just, you know, traditionally doesn't necessarily fit together, but it works so well the way you do it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. All right. Allie Herman, speaking of birds, Allie has two assemblage pieces. These are, some of them are coated with encaustic, and she's using a lot of found materials. Let me bring you up here. This is, and again, this is another piece that deserves to be seen in person. So this is the first. That's called Home Construction. And then this is On the Lookout, The Lookout. I don't know if you could see here, but the tail is not adhered to the back. So there's a little bit of space between the head and also the tail. That's Allie Herman. Martha Hill. Martha is a wonderful abstract artist here in Woodstock, I believe. She has a great way of just interpreting landscape in a really great way with color. This is the first piece that this is at the gallery, and then this is the second piece called Lush that is exclusive to Artsy, and they are 12 by 12, I believe. 14 by 14. Okay. Annette Jarrett. Annette was actually just here at the gallery. It was good to spend a little time with her. Annette does a lot of recycling of canvases. So these are cut canvases, and then they're not hatched, but they are sort of brought together on another canvas. You can't really see the details on this. Let me see if I can bring it up in another photo. But let's see. No, maybe not. Okay, never mind. So this is the first piece. This is called Tapestry number 67. It's cut canvas on acrylic, and it's 12 by 12. This is the second piece, and again, different cut canvases that are sort of rearranged again on a brand new canvas. And that one is called Spirit Dancing. Roxy Johnson. Roxy lives in the Hudson Valley, I believe in Shokahan. I may be wrong. Roxy had provided me with something to read for her on her behalf. This is called Undercurrent. Undercurrent is a prime example of my abstract painting and collage technique. Completed back in 2019, it is one in a series reflecting my fascination with the shoreline, my passion for the mystery, metaphor, and visual poetry that lie there. This image began as a 6x6 piece of transparent mylar. I painted, scraped, and collaged on both sides before final adherence to a wooden substrate. Presentation is a fixation of mine, and I love a white Vermont hardwood maple floater to set it off and complete each piece. I love when someone's enthused about framing. Prompted by a cognitive and intuitive approach, I most often began with no fixed result in mind, inviting both abandon and discovery. What transpires is an interplay of organic form and the artificial, a provocative imagery where surface and translucency suggest a collective stream of consciousness, what seems our planet's instability and the elusive passing of time. Spatial relationships seem to evolve, surface, and recede on their own, as if applying an odd sense of order to all the uncertainty and ambiguity I find there. The creative process humbles me. Its raw cathartic nature is liberating and leaves no option but to totally immerse myself in each and every fleeting moment. This grounds me, offers solitude, and has become an ongoing conversation with the fragile yet expansive universe and my most intimate, authentic, and internal self. So that's Roxy Johnson. I have a few other pieces of Roxy's on Artsy as well from some of the other shows. And I'm always pleased to have Roxy's work in the shows. These are by Suzanne Kirchner. These are small pieces. They are, let me double check the size of those. They're 10 by 10. And it's all pen and ink, acrylic, I'm sorry, in India ink. So this is the first piece. And then we have a second green piece here. I want to just zoom in a little bit to show you the incredible amount of detail that's involved in this. So this is Suzanne Kirchner, and Suzanne does a lot with pen and ink. She must have a very steady hand and a lot of patience. But there's some really beautiful work on Artsy as well from some of the previous shows of Suzanne's. Leslie Landau. Leslie, I think I saw you here. Are you here? No, okay. Are you here? Let me double check.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, great. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. It's a beautiful
Absolutely.
show.
Thank you. This is the first piece, and then this is the Artsy exclusive piece.
So the essence of my work is it's landscape. That's what I respond to. These pieces were from inspiration in Ireland, where the mood changes atmospherically by the minute. And so when I travel, our travel is usually about the landscape and visiting some beautiful rustic place and just seeing the changes. And so this is about the essence of light and those quick atmospheric changes and just capturing that intimate moment, that moment that just is special. And so this is a pastel, one is a pastel, one is an oil. And I try to be very free with the light, capturing that moment.
The blues are gorgeous in this piece.
Thank you.
And Leslie, you're mostly drawn to landscape, no?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. These are beautiful.
Thank you.
And then this piece here is framed in a glass floater frame, which I like the way that presents itself.
Thank you.
Great to have your work here, Leslie. Thank you.
Glad to be part of the show.
Okay, this is Allison Lee, and this piece is called Golden Angel. It is a collage piece. There's some collage elements, and there's also ink as well. This is by Barbara Tepper-Levy. Barbara is an artist here in the Saugerties area. She's a multi artist. She does some fabric art, some fiber art. She does collage. She does drawing. This is a really tiny piece. It's probably about 4x4 collage. That's Barbara Tepper-Levy. Marjorie Magid. This is a piece called Tiger. It's an 8x10 piece. Marjorie has two small pieces in the show, this one and Little Girl. This is about 5x5. I just opened a solo show of Marjorie's. It's called Whimsical, The Art of Marjorie Magid. There's over 40 pieces on Artsy of Marjorie's. I always say this every single time, but Marjorie's pieces just make me smile. I mean, I think they're so joyful. She usually focuses, it's all inspired by her travels. She focuses on people, places, and things. The two little pieces here are really wonderful. If you have the opportunity, please, I encourage you to go on Artsy and check out the rest of her work. It's really just joyful. So these are Marjorie Magid. Kate Masters. Kate is an artist here in Saugerties. This is called Grotto. It's a 12x12 watercolor piece. This is a bit darker for Kate, I'm sorry. Kate usually has a really great sense with color and watercolor. So of course I was immediately drawn to the palette on this. These are the two pieces by Barbara Masterson. Barbara has a whole series of farm workers where she's been getting to know migrant farm workers, getting to know their stories, getting to know them personally, and then does some really gorgeous portraits of the farm workers. This is a sub-series of that. It is called The Hands That Feed, and it's a focus on the different hands that are picking, the food that we eat, our produce. There's a few pieces from Barbara's farm series on the website, so please have a look at those as well. This is the second piece from the Hands That Feed series. And they're small pieces. They're probably about 12x12, or 8x8 actually. Janine, did I see Janine Menlove here?
You did.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry I didn't sign in, so I'll make this very quick. I'm not on the schedule.
No, you're good. Let me just find you. Let me find you, Janine. I see you. Yep. Okay.
Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. I love this new series that you're doing.
Well, thank you. This series, actually, I'm going to read it to try and be quick. So these two are photo montages from an ongoing series that I have called Traveling Stills. Each image is taken from a moving means of transport, a car, a train, a plane, something traveling at some sort of speed. And it documents a glimpse into a new and mostly unknown world to me, the passerby. Things we don't see, we're driving by, we're going by, we're flying by, and it's just a little glimpse. It's just a moment in time. And to me, these resemble a film strip from a movie. Each photo montage tells a brief story of place, nostalgia, and or incident. So it's just I've been doing the series for quite a few years, and I hope to continue it. Oh, I can't hear. Why did I lose them? Oh, he's muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I've been talking. I was on mute.
And I'm thinking, oh dear, what have I done? I've
no. This is the piece that's on Artsy. Well, they're both on Artsy, but this is exclusive to Artsy, the additional piece. And then this is the piece at the gallery. And I really like how there's just a little bit of color peeking through here and there. Really wonderful. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Oh, great. These are Claudia Michael. Claudia, are you here? I thought I saw you come in. Oh, I didn't. No, I'm sorry. You had sent me an artist bio to read for you. I'm sorry, I'm not finding it. Oh. Sorry about that. Well, this is the first piece by Claudia. This is the second piece that is in the show. It's a fall landscape and it's watercolor. Okay, that's Claudia. Now I have Wilma Miller. This I was really surprised to see this from Wilma because I'm so used to Wilma's paintings, so I was a little surprised to see a collage come in. This is a really beautiful piece by Wilma. I really like how the peach and the pink sort of pops out like that. And then this is a second piece. This is called Abstraction Number 2. I have a number of Wilma's pieces that on Artsy as well, mostly her paintings. And Wilma has a great sense with color too, although this one it doesn't use as much color as she normally does. But it does reflect her most of the abstract work that she uses. Okay, this piece sold. I wasn't even up on the wall and someone took it. It's a really charming piece by Ingrid Neichter. Ingrid lives in Kingston. It's a mixed media piece and there's some really fantastic texture in both of these. This is called Family in 3 Parts. And then the second piece is called Looking Out. This is about 8 by 10. And again, some really wonderful texture in this work as well. And the pieces like this, I mean, again, the photographs don't do them justice. They definitely deserve to be seen in person. Sandra, this is Sandra Nystrom? Oh no, Nancy O'Hara, I'm sorry. This is one piece by Nancy O'Hara. This is called Diversity. I like Nancy's work a lot. She creates a lot of really small pieces. She has a great sense with movement and color as well. Although this one is a lot more about movement than it is about color. The second piece, this one's a little more color, and these are using darker tones than I'm used to with Nancy. Nancy uses a lot of pastel and some real vibrant colors. So I was really pleased and surprised to find this, and this is, I think, called Mossy Pattern. Moody Moss. These are Nancy O'Hara. Great. This is Deb Ondo. And Deb, I think you're here, right? This is the first piece by Deb. Gorgeous yellows. And this piece I just adore. White birch. Deb, are you here?
Hi, Robert. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, thanks so much. And thank you for including me in the show. It's a really terrific show.
Thank you.
I paint a lot of trees, representations and landscapes. I've always been drawn to trees, really, since my earliest memories as a child. And what I'm understanding, and what I think a lot of people are understanding more and more, is that trees are really social beings. Above ground in the way they send signals, below ground in the way roots and fungi work together to nourish and preserve life. So as we understand this about the natural world, I think it helps us understand ourselves, and it gives us sort of a greater sense of our connection to one another, to the natural world and the planet. And I love this quote by Robin Wall Kimmerer from Braiding Sweetgrass. This is the quote: "When we tell them that a tree is not a who, but an it, we make that tree an object. We put a barrier between us, absolving ourselves of moral responsibility and opening the door to exploitation." And I think that really sums it up rather nicely. So this is an oil on wood panel. It's a 10-inch by 10-inch. And then yesterday is muted memories. There's a slightly discernible horizon in the distance. And this is mostly an homage to those things that have come before, to the experiences we've had, to the people we've known, to the lands we've walked, the time we've spent that have enabled us to be who we are today. So this is an oil on wood panel, again, 10 by 10 inches. So thank you, Robert. Really, really excited and thrilled to be a part of this beautiful show.
I'm really pleased to have them. The yellows in this are fantastic. I just got my vitamin D for the day. Looking at these, I mean, they really are. They're like a burst of sunshine. Just so warming, and yeah, I'm so pleased to have them. And two, very, very different pieces. But alike in a lot of different ways.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased to have them. Thank you, Deb. Okay. These are a few pieces. These are by Michael Palladino. This piece sold. It's a series of 30 plus. It's called his fossil series, and these are basically carved wood panel, and then he torches them. His whole idea is bringing attention to environmental issues. And you could see he's sort of taking the whole idea of fossils and using them in some of them a human way. Like this is, I believe, teeth. I mean, they look like teeth to me. Michael says these pieces are from the fossil series. Excavated treasure, biological reliefs of plant, insect, or animal, replaced by mineral over millennia, records of the past, respect of the ancient, stories of extinction, and awareness of the life cycle, a sense of beauty and collectability, energy and memory, eternal knowledge and afterlife preserved, with a warning of a future extermination. Michael has a number of pieces on Artsy as well. He's been in a few of my past shows, and a lot of his work brings attention to environmental issues. A lot of it, he uses wood and a burning technique with the wood. Oh, great. This is Ellen Parentoni, and I hope I pronounced that right. And I don't think Ellen is here. This is a lovely oil piece. Oh, you are here, Ellen. Are you here? No? Okay. This is a really lovely oil piece, a beautiful landscape. I think it's in the Hudson Valley. I'm not too sure though, so don't quote me on that. But this is Ellen Parentoni. And Lisa Fitzner. This is the first piece. Both pieces are here on the wall. And again, this is these pieces especially deserve to be seen in person too. And Lisa, where are you?
Right here.
Yeah, great. Good to see you.
Hi.
I just feels like I just saw you.
True, that's true. Thank you. I'm very humbled to be part of the show, Robert.
I just want to dive into this photo. Or into this piece of art. It's so gorgeous.
I'll start by saying that I'm not someone who's dedicated to just one medium. And as I mentioned to you in person, I just finished renovating my studio. And the first medium I wanted to experiment with was fluid acrylics. I was intrigued by the medium because it's incredibly spontaneous and the results are really unpredictable. Which is an aspect that I find very appealing. Fluid acrylic is exactly that. It's fluid. It's all about movement. And unlike traditional painting, there's no brushes involved. I'll talk a little bit about the process because I seem to get a lot of questions when I was in person the other day, and explain how it actually works. The paint is actually mixed with a pouring medium and a little bit of water to achieve a particular consistency. And that consistency depends on the technique that you're attempting to do. And then the colors are layered and they're poured onto the canvas. No two outcomes will ever be identical because so much relies on the density of the pigments that are being used. For example, heavier pigments are going to sink and lighter pigments are going to rise up to the top of the surface. It depends on the consistency in which the paints are mixed, the order in which the colors are layered, and the speed in which the pour is released. And from that point, the canvas is tilted and rotated. Sometimes I manipulate it with air, with blown air, and sometimes even with my own breath. When the consistency is mixed thin and the paint densities start to shift, what's known as cells, and if you zoom in, you can see a little bit in this one that Robert is showing, they start to form. And again, depending on the technique, you can get really beautiful lacing that can be achieved. The paint does flow over the sides of the canvas, so the design continues and it wraps the sides. The first painting, this one, this is known as a straight pour, and it's one stream of paint that is poured onto the canvas. And the second one we were just looking at is referred to as a kiss pour. And this is where there are two streams of paint that are simultaneously poured at the same time. In this case, it was one using cool colors and another stream that was using warm colors. And you can't really see it from the photographs, but both of these paintings are finished with a top coat of art resin, which is a high gloss epoxy that has UV protection, and it also has a light stabilizer added to it so that it provides long-term yellowing protection. The art resin really pops the colors of the pigments, much more so than over a traditional varnish. I've been working with this medium for about 3 months now, and I can tell you it's a very messy process, and it doesn't always go as expected. At times, there's as much paint on me as there is on the canvas. But I am committed, and I keep at it until I get something that I consider interesting. So when someone actually purchases a fluid painting, they're not only buying the painting, they're buying like hundreds of hours of failures and experiments. And I think we lost, oh, I think he was trying to show it in dimension.
Oh, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was trying to show the side so you can see what you were talking about. I don't know if I got that, but they're lovely. And again, these definitely should be deserve to be seen in person. They're wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. I'm really pleased to have them. Okay. All right, the next pieces are by Eileen Power. This is the first piece called The Divine Feminine, and Eileen has a whole series of clothing and dresses. She finds it very, very cathartic. And then the second piece is a monoprint. This one is called Glacial. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This one is called Standing Stone, Orkney Island. And Orkney Island is in Ireland. And I think it seems like a lot of artists go over to the Orkney Islands and are really inspired by them, because I keep seeing a lot of artwork from artists in this area that are inspired by the Orkney Islands. So these are Eileen Power. This gorgeous piece is by Regina Quinn, This is in caustic, and then we have a second piece from Regina here as well. This is in caustic also. I don't think Regina's here, but I wanted to bring you in a little close to show you some of the details of this piece. There's a lot of texture in this piece, which you really can't see digitally, but these are Regina's. Regina has a really wonderful way of working with encaustic. I'm a big fan of encaustic, and I really like the way that artists use encaustic. So I keep threatening to do an encaustic show, but I think this year I'm going to do it. So, all right, that's Regina Quinn. And Regina has a number of pieces from other shows as well on Artsy. They're just as beautiful as these. Elaine Ralston. I was really surprised to get this from Elaine, because I know Elaine from her pastel works, this is one of the, this is a classic Elaine Ralston pastel piece. Elaine lives in, I want to say Woodstock, but I think I'm wrong. She lives in Ulster County. So this piece here, this is called Sun Lovers. It's oil on canvas, and it's very different for Elaine. It's got some real great texture. She put on some thick applications, and it just adds so beautifully to the texture, and really enhances the leaves on the sunflowers. So this is the first piece. The second piece is called Lights On, and this is a pastel piece by Elaine Ralston. This is by Susan Rothkamp. Susan is an artist that I know down in Monmouth County, in New Jersey. And this is a classic cocktail umbrella. And I think you've all been to Lee's Hawaiian Islander or some form of Chinese restaurant that has these great cups and serves them tiki cups with cocktail umbrellas like this. So I found this really classic, and really glad to include it in the show. This is by Kelly Sansone. Kelly, are you here? I don't think you are. A little piece. It's 4x4. And I think Kelly sent me something to talk about or to discuss. She did not. Okay, so this is Kelly Sansone, and it is called Rainbow Glossy Lips. Now we have a few pieces by Arlene Santana Thornton, and I know Arlene is here. I just saw Arlene a little earlier too, in person. Or was that yesterday? No, it was yesterday. I'm sorry. Arlene, are you here? I thought I saw you. Oh, here you are. Great. I'm going to bring you on, and you need to unmute yourself.
Okay.
All right, great. Hi, Arlene. Good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you.
The blues and the yellows in this piece work so well together.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be in the show. And I'm in my studio in Hudson today. And that piece I made along with some others that at the same time, and they're sort of similar. And I thought I would try turning, I'm on my phone. I'm hoping this works.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. So I want to turn it around to show you this, some of the ones that went along with that one that I made out of their oil and wax on linen over wood. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just, I usually work in a series, and I use oils, waxes. I build it up with a knife sometimes. And my work is usually about places, landscapes. And these are some of the others that
you usually paint larger now.
Yes, I have some very large pieces. This is sort of a medium-sized one here.
Yeah. I'm seeing your larger pieces. So I was really pleased to have a few small pieces here.
Yeah, so I just put it in context with the other tiny ones. With one is only about 8 by 8 inches, and then others are like 10 by 8 inches.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of experimenting with the smaller pieces and see them as studies for larger works. And sometimes they will end up as larger works. So, you know, I have a couple of themes that I'm usually exploring, but mainly I'm based in landscape and memories, memories of places. Sometimes I give them titles that are, because I know it's directly related to a specific place, but sometimes it isn't. So I'll leave them untitled, and they may be about just experiences or memories of color. And that's how I've been experimenting with color and memory and texture.
Really nice. And again, the yellow. I mean, this yellow is just so luscious.
Thank you.
I don't know, maybe I should do a yellow show.
Yeah, I'm liking yellow more and more these days, especially because of that one in particular has a sort of turquoise blue, and I thought that worked really well. And to me, it's very Mediterranean. And
yes, yeah, and
you know,
the way that you worked up the layers, I mean, they're gorgeous, deceptively simple, but you know, so complex, really beautiful.
Thank you. That particular one had many layers of color under it. So you can see the red peeking through.
Yeah.
Where I scratched into the yellow and scratched into the surface on that one.
Beautiful.
And it exposes the red, which I think makes the yellow more vibrant.
Yeah, it brings it alive too, yeah. They're lovely. Thank you, Arlene. I'm really pleased to have them.
Thank you. Happy to be in the show. Thanks a lot, Robert.
And good to see you the other day.
Okay. Nice to see you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. I wanted to bring up a few pieces by Matthew is, I'm going to bring these up real quick, but I want to show you these in person. I had a whole handful of them, but 5 of them just sold. They're tiny, tiny pieces. That's why I want to. This one's one of my favorites. Okay, that's it. All right, great. So let me bring you over to some of Matthew's pieces. I'm gonna stop sharing so you can see this. Okay, so these are some of the pieces I have of Matthew's in the gallery. Matthew, these are all done with pen and ink. They're really incredibly detailed. Matthew must have the patience of a saint, or he just loses himself in the whole creation process. I wanted to also show you a little bit of Matthew. Not only creates the artwork, but he also creates his own packaging and the framing. So the frames are all created by Matthew. He also has some boxes that he creates that go along with them. They're little cardboard boxes with a little platform in here that has, can you see it? It has a stand that he makes, so you can turn these into tabletops as well. He also includes some, one of his original stickers that's only available if you purchase a piece of his art, a certificate of authenticity, and a care. But I love the whole idea that he is taking this and creating the entire experience. So when you purchase his work, you get a lot more than just the piece of art. So let me bring, let's bring his work back up on the screen, and I'll go over them again real quick. He's got some names that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but I do want to bring you in here to show you how detailed all of this is. And he uses some drafting tools in creating all of this. Some pointillism also. It's just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful work. So that is Matthew Schultz. And this would make a great card. All right. And now we have Rita Sherry. Rita, oh, no, I'm sorry. Where is this? Oh, yeah, this is Rita Sherry. Okay. This is called The Doodah Man, who I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. I don't know much about the Grateful Dead, but from what I understand, folks that do know the Grateful Dead would get this reference. This is the Grateful Dead Doodah Man, and it is made out of ceramic. The second piece by Rita is called Caged. It's a little small vessel, and again, it's got a little dark side to it. That's Rita Sherry. These are Roberta Sickler. Roberta is an abstract artist in Woodstock. This is a really wonderful pastel palette of Roberta's. This is called Peony Wine. And then the second piece is called Crossing Over. Okay. Sorry, I need to show you something. Yeah, hold on. I wanted to show you something on the wall, Elizabeth Schaefer. For some reason, I didn't pull it up on Artsy. I'm so sorry, Elizabeth, but I do want to show you the piece on the wall. Where is it? Oh, it's right behind me. So this is an oil on wood landscape by Elizabeth Schaefer. So Elizabeth, I'm going to bring you up to talk about this piece if you don't mind. Where are you?
I'm here.
Oh, I see you. Okay, great.
Thank you, Robert.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, I did this some time ago, and based on landscape, the idea that to do a relatively small piece first, to catch the mood, the atmosphere before the cloud patterns change the hues, and I just thought that the yellow line in the middle of the road sort of suggested a slight air of mystery of going into uncertainty. It's actually on canvas, not wood.
Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, I see. Yes. I'm sorry.
That's all right. But it's just when I was painting then and actually now, my teacher encouraged not using a lot of medium, but just using the pigments. So there are spaces of white in the on the canvas, and that's I think now I'm using more medium, but I did this some time ago. I think 1995 or 1996. So it was sort of a different technique that I was using then. But anyway.
Elizabeth, I don't really know you as a landscape painter. Do you do much landscape these days?
Well, yes, I do. In back, I don't know if you can see the room in back of me now, where but there's a landscape.
Oh yeah.
I do. I mean, I really hope to go back to more painting, and especially encaustics, because I think that encaustics lend themselves to a kind of fluidity that I'd like to try to do. I'm a great admirer of Regina Quinn's work that I've seen on your on Artsy and in your shows. So
yeah, she's got encaustic down. And this again, you mentioning that is another reason for me to have an encaustic show.
Oh,
I think that's coming up. So keep your eye out, probably in the spring or so.
Oh, wonderful.
For the summer. So. Well, I'm really pleased to have another one of your pieces here. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for including.
Absolutely. Okay. This is a piece by Judy Stanger. Judy lives over in the New Paltz area. This piece, Judy is very inspired by the Hudson Valley and also Provincetown and Cape Cod. This is a piece called Provincetown Shore. And this is called Overlook Mountain. They're both pastel works. I have a number of Judy's pieces as well on Artsy, if you'd like to have a look at those. These are two pieces by Margaret Still. Margaret is an artist here in Saugerties. This is a tiny, tiny piece. And Margaret does a lot of traveling, does some photographs and, or takes some photographs and uses those sort of as basis for a lot of her works. This piece here is called Memphis at Sundown 2. And then the other piece is called Widget Sound Studios, Florence, Alabama. She's got, I mean, it reminds me a lot of Hopper. She's got a great sense with color. And I'm always pleased to exhibit Margaret's work. So these are two small pieces that I have of Margaret's. Cindy Sumerano. I have two pieces by Cindy. This first piece is called Of the Evening. Or no, this is called Sanctuary, I'm sorry. This one is called Of the Evening. Cindy, I don't think you're here. This piece is a collage piece, monotype, and then the first piece, this is a collage as well. So those are Cindy Sumerano. This is Theodosia Tamberlane. Theodosia, I know you were joining us. Are you here? No?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you are. Okay, wait for me so I can see
There we
what you are.
I had to unmute myself.
Oh, I see you. Great. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be part of your event here today. My painting that you have is has a history, is part of my early works that I created. It's called The Circus Comes to Town. It's an oil collage. And I had 17 early works that I created. And when I moved from New Jersey to Florida, I had an assistant who helped me pack everything up. And she packed the early works very carefully together in a bag, but she didn't label them. So when we unpacked down here, they just went in my painting closet, which you can see the closet behind me. And they stayed there until this past June, when, due to being at home because of the virus surrounding us, I decided to clean out my painting closet as one of my projects. And I found the 17 early works. And so I mounted and framed them. And this one, The Circus Comes to Town, I did after I had the joy of spending a day taking my 4- and 5-year-old grandchildren to the circus that came to Cranford when I lived there. And it was a wonderful day with them. I have photographs from the day that we enjoyed together. It was their first circus. And so it's very joyful, and I'm very happy that you have selected it for your show.
It's a lovely piece, and I really like that story you just told. You know, it's things like finding out the backstory behind works that make it even more special.
Well, all of my works, for the most part, have backstories to them.
Yeah.
Because I'm always involved in painting ideas. That's kind of my theme as an artist.
Great. Really pleased to have your work here. I've had some of Theodosia's work in shows before. I don't think since I've been on Artsy though.
I don't know. We came close. We did one other show together. It may have been right before Artsy.
Yes, I believe so. So hopefully this is the first of many. Good
My
to see you.
pleasure.
I'm glad you joined us. Thank you.
Good show.
Theodosia Tamberlane. Next, we have 2 photographs by Ken Tannenbaum. Ken is an artist here in Woodstock. A Barbie doll on the street. I mean, I'm immediately drawn to this. And I really like the whole idea of it looks like a dog's profile here. Ken was in the advertising industry, I believe, and did a lot of photography for advertising. Now he spends most of his time doing photography for himself. This piece was taken at the Grounds for Sculpture in New Jersey. One of the reasons why I chose this is I just thought it was very timely. It's classic Americana. It's obviously, American Gothic. Ken added the pitchfork in the back here. But the reason why I found it timely is the raindrops here. We're right now going through a lot of issues, especially, folks in Middle America, which for me, these two people represent. So it's a little time of tension right now. And even though it was raindrops for me, it seemed like a little bit of a sweating it out kind of deal with this piece. So that's the reason why I took that. And then, like I said, a Barbie on the street, a discarded Barbie. I'm all on it. So that's Ken Tannenbaum. Next, we have Michelle Tomasai. This is a beautiful abstract piece by Michelle. I really like this blue and the yellow, and blue and yellow just complement each other so well. So this is Michelle's piece. I don't think you're here, Michelle, are you? No. Janet Sakis, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Janet, are you here? No. Did she send something to me? Oh, yes. Okay, so Janet says, as my work evolves, I continue to look for ways to express what is personal to me. For the past decade, my work has been a reaction to snapshots of my friends and family. Currently, I turn selfies into charcoal drawings that serve as social commentary. Election night 2016, women's rights, and climate change are some of my themes. While the international absence of color describes my mood post-election, I also like working with pencil because of its simplicity. I love the velvety black of the charcoal together with the white of the paper and all the grays in between. I am continually testing the notion that there are infinite ways to make marks, and I use this idea to create visual interests. So this is Janet Sakis. The next piece. Oh, these are two pieces by Kay Velas Turan. These are fiber works. Really, really charming works. And I don't think that she is here. I do want to, again, the photos don't do it justice, but when you scroll in here, you can really see the detail of all of the stitching on these works. It's very playful. I think that the colors she chose were, very pleasing. I wanted to bring you over to the stoplights here because there's some little gems on the stoplight, the red, green, and yellows. JD Weiss. I'm a big fan of JD's. JD is an artist in Woodstock. JD uses traditional 2.25 camera film still. She scans the original negatives into the computer and sometimes uses Photoshop to enhance, not necessarily change all that much. When she does use liberty in changing a lot of the images, what she'll do is she'll photograph the same setting. If it's a landscape, she'll photograph the landscape. She'll photograph clouds in the area separately, and then sort of make a composite of them on Photoshop to reflect the way that she saw them in her eye. So she's doing a whole series. This one is called Bullseye. This one I thought was really creepy. And this is called Cow Vision. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is called Bullseye. The other was called Cow Vision. And she superimposed a human eye onto this bull. JD Weiss. These are a little darker, but JD has some gorgeous black and white landscapes of the Hudson Valley, I have a show of JD's on Artsy, so please have a look. There's at least 30 pieces of her black and white, and also some of her color photographs as well, but they're really stunners. This piece by Russ Wills, I really dig this piece. I'm so pleased to have it here. Russ, are you here with us?
I'm here. I'm here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Robert.
Welcome. I wanted to bring up. So this is a sculptural piece in a box. It's a photograph on fused glass, and it changes colors. There is and then let me just bring some of the other images I have up here. I tried to photograph the other colors, but for some reason I'm not able to bring them up here. I don't know why. But there's 12 colors you can choose from. So please, Russ, tell us a little bit about this piece.
Sure. Well, the backstory, I did my MFA in photography. I absolutely love photography. And I was making abstract photos using glass as the subject matter. And I had my wife, she's a glass artist. I had her teach me how to fuse the glass so I could get custom shapes. And I just accidentally fell in love with fused glass. And it just became my goal to combine the two. So all these photos are actually made entirely from glass. And it's a really fun process. And it took me years to figure out how to do it. But once I did, it just kind of took off from there. So the series is Emerge. And it's really, it's about like life's chaos right now. You know, this was made long before COVID was even a thing, but just the chaos of life, you can choose to either kind of sink back into the chaos or emerge from it. And so I try to, some of the photos are a little more vague and harder to see than others, and there's a range of that. So I just try to leave it up to the viewer. Are you kind of sinking into it or emerging from it? Glass also, it's become like a metaphor for me of life, because it's when I started working with glass, I had no idea how strong it was. And glass is incredibly fragile and incredibly strong all at the same time.
I tried to show a little bit about how it moves, the different colors. The other piece that you have, Russ, is that lights up as well, correct?
The second one does not. It's
doesn't.
Yeah, I have a wall hanging stand for it that I needed to make, but it's really meant to be more of a tabletop thing, and you can backlight it.
All right, wonderful, great. These are really fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And is this sort of reflective of usually the kind of work that you do, or is the
It
whole
is. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of this, and I've been working with cyanotypes lately and some alternative photography. I love abstraction, but this is the direction I've really been going in.
Wonderful. I'm really pleased to have him. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Okay. That's Russ Wills. Catherine Wood. There's two pieces by Catherine Wood. This is the first piece. This is called La Casita, and then the other is Shells on Blue. Catherine provided me with a video to show everyone about her process that I am going to bring up. Where are we here? Here we go. Okay. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. I'm sorry, guys. Just need to figure this out. Ah, that's why. Okay, here we go. This Zoom thing is still a challenge for me, even though I've done it a little bit long, for a little bit now. Okay, so this is a video that was provided by Catherine.
Hello, my name's Catherine Wood. I'm an enamelist. I use the medium of enamel for most of my artwork. What is it? It is basically powdered glass. Looks like this. Comes in different colors, but you can create your own by layering or mixing. It is applied to metal. It can be applied dry in a sifter, or it can be applied wet with a brush. After each application, you must fire it in a very hot kiln, somewhere between 14 and 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the next layer can be put on and fired again. So many different things can be made with enamel. Very quickly, vessels, containers. This one is cloisonné. That's a very well-known technique. This is an etch technique, champlevé, jewelry. A lot of enamelists do jewelry. And of course, wall pieces. And this is done in a painting technique, which is the same technique I used for La Casita in the show.
All right, wonderful. And let me show you her pieces here on the wall. This is the second piece, the blue shells. And then this is La Casita. Really charming little tiny piece. Okay. All right, let's go back to the rest of these. We only have a few more left. Thank you everyone for your patience. I appreciate it. Chrome, here we go. Okay. All right, these are two pieces by Carol Wooden. Carol, are you here? I think I saw you.
Yes.
Okay, let me find you. Oh, here you are. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, for including me in the show. And it's been so fun watching other people's work and hearing artists talk about them. Most of my work is plants isolated on the page. Every now and then I do groups of plants. I'm just kind of focused on plants in particular. I've been working for about 30 years painting almost nothing but plants. I work in watercolor and I work on vellum, which is a type of leather, kind of an ancient material for painting. It was, you know, a lot of illuminated manuscripts were made on vellum. This particular hops painting from Arrowwood Farms, this is on sort of a coated vellum, which has been coated with something, it's sort of like a plaster of Paris. So it's kind of a thick paper. It's not like a hard board.
Is it like a Yupo? Is it a form of Yupo or?
It appears similar to Yupo, but this is actually leather. So, and Yupo is, I think, some kind of a plastic material.
Okay.
Is it plastic?
Okay.
You know, my focus in art is plants because I think that they make it possible for all of us to live, and I want people to pay more attention to them as unique individuals. So I lived just around the corner from Arrowwood Farms. Right when they were starting to get started up, they have a tasting room and they brew beer there. So I watched the field go from a field to a big hops field over the course of a couple of years, and it was just an amazing process to watch. So I was asked to do a bunch of paintings for a show in the Netherlands related to how plants travel around the world. And hops have been traveling around the world for over 1,000 years now. So I went over to Arrowwood Farms and did some sketches in the field. And then Blake and Jake gave me some cuttings to take home. So, and this fit the theme really well. So that's why I did those. Every time I look at this painting, all I think of is the kind of the fragrance and the stickiness of the hops themselves. They're kind of a fruit, and they're in the same family as hemp is. So they have that sort of resinous quality about them. And I still have the dried hops here, like a lot of artists that focus on plants, botanical artists. We have a lot of plant detritus laying around. So, you know, I've painted plants for 30 years. I had a major focus on orchids for a while, and I illustrated a few orchid monographs. But I also love the kind of food plants that we eat, corn and potatoes and things like that, and also some of the wildflowers that grow around us, which is the May apple that you showed is on the artsy show. And that one I wanted to paint at this stage so many times. It's at this stage for such a very short time in early spring where the leaves are just unfurling and the flower is above the leaves at that time. And then over the course of about a week, the flower bends down and then the leaves open up above it like an umbrella. So you can miss this stage very easily. They're just barely out of the ground. And that's from my Unearthed series. I like to focus on the roots of the plant for that series. So
They're really beautiful. The greens in this are just gorgeous. And I mean, it really, the materials that you're using on, to put the paint on is just it works so well, and it pops out the colors in ways that I don't think any other materials would do. They're beautiful. Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Robert.
Okay. Coming down to the home stretch. This is by Lynn Woods. I was really surprised to find this because I know Lynn as a reporter for a number of publications here in the Hudson Valley. So I was very, very surprised and really, really pleased to receive these submissions when they came in from Lynn. I had no idea that she's been painting. And this is a wonderful still life. It's called Bowl of Fruit, and it is oil on canvas. Christopher Wright. Is Christopher here? I don't think so. This is Christopher Wright. Christopher lives up in Saratoga Springs in New York State. This is called 56 Cadillac. It is oil on panel, I believe. And then the last piece is by Jay Youngdahl. And Jay, I see you're here, and I'm really pleased that you're here. It's good to virtually meet you. Oh, here you are. Great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert. And we look like brothers here or something in our red shirts and our little goatees and stuff. So maybe we're related in some way. But thank you very much. Like everybody said, I really appreciate being the show. There's really some spectacular stuff in here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So I'm mainly a photographer and collagist. And I've been a writer, both books and political essays, and decided to kind of take some of those ideas and try to put them into other artistic media. I tend to do things that are a little bit autobiographical. And I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was taking a walk with a friend, and this is through a neighborhood and I grew up during the civil rights struggle in Central High School. And this was a neighborhood in which a lot of the people who wanted to keep the school segregated lived. But I saw this beautiful flower and I thought, it reminded me I had gone down to a Superfund site in Brooklyn last year and took pictures of kind of rainbows on the water of this site. So I'm kind of interested in the meditative quality, I guess you might say, of beauty out of something that maybe doesn't seem so beautiful in other ways. And so I just thought this piece would work fine in a very small presentation. And so that's why I sent it in. Again, thank you very much for allowing me to participate.
Absolutely. And I want to, Jay also has a piece in the Orange Show that is up on Artsy. Really, really fun piece of a orange vendor, and I believe it was Thailand, was it, Jay? That was just sort of smiling and being very friendly with it. It's a really, really charming photograph.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased to have this as well. So thank you, Jane. It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. I wanted to.
Robert, I'm wondering,
did you miss my art or skip, or did something happen?
Who is this? I'm sorry.
It's Bobby Esmark.
Oh, Bobby. No, you know what? I'm sorry. There are actually two pieces that I was just going to pull them out. Yours is one of them.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry.
No worries. I wanted to. I'm going to bring them. Your piece is right behind me in the gallery. So let me. This is a pear piece.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I saw it on the list much sooner. I thought maybe you just skipped over, so I thought I'd.
No, I'm sorry. It's my apologies. I didn't pull. I hadn't pulled it up, and I realized that as I was going through the list.
Okay.
Another artist as well that I haven't pulled up, so I need to go back and show those as well. But please tell us about this piece.
Oh, okay. I'll do it quickly because we're at the end of a long day of looking at fabulous work. And hello, everyone. It's so nice to be with you. It's funny, like Lowell Barr's painting too, because I've been printmaking for 2 years, as Robert kind of knows that, and going back into the studio, not being able to go to the Woodstock School of Art where I'm able to print. And it was also thinking about a time of another plague or another time of plague, which was the Renaissance. And talking to Kate McLaughlin about that, who is a wonderful printmaking teacher and painter herself. So we're talking about chiaroscuro and sfumato and all those techniques. So not being able to print, I went back into my studio and started doing a series called Still, which was kind of going back to a traditional still life, very small. These are, the biggest are 6x8 or 8x6. Most of them are 7x5. So I did the pairs, and this is kind of a, that traditional kind of basic painting with oil, which I hadn't done in a while. And I was just going back inside that way, inside my studio, inside without a collective space, which you have in printmaking, and going back to the basics of where I kind of started painting. So that's what I did. And that is on Yupo actually, which is kind of polypropylene. It's a paper made out of polypropylene. And it's very smooth, very glidey, and it grabs oil in a different way than canvas does.
It really adds a whole different dimension to a lot of the materials that are used on it. I've been very curious about the way that artists use Yupo. A lot of artists are using them in different ways. So who knows? Maybe there's a Yupo show coming up too.
Maybe a Yupo show, but light does come through it in a different way, and it grabs it in another way too. But I wanted to say one more thing, Robert. Please. I have a necklace with that image on it. The 45 fill in for your.
Oh, you're talking about the spacer. Oh, great.
I do, the spacer or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, welcome to my world.
I should have worn it. I didn't know.
No, that's.
Thank you. And I did want to mention one thing that Kate McLaughlin I mentioned, because she has taken many artists in the area to the Orkneys, which are in Scotland. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Orkney experience is.
Oh, that's why. Okay, all right. I had a feeling it had something to do with that, and my apology. I thought.
Oh, that's okay.
Ireland and Scotland. Okay. But wonderful. It seems like an inspiring place.
Yeah.
Really lovely. And I do want to mention that there are a few pieces of Bobby's on Artsy as well. One of them I still think about was the girl in the paper show.
Talisman. The Talisman, yeah.
It's still up on Artsy, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm pleased to have this one, and hopefully we'll have some more as well coming up. Especially if I do a Yupo show. Yep. All right. Thanks. Thanks so much, Bobby. Apologies for that.
That's okay.
No problem. All right. And now I wanted to go back to the other artist that I neglected to pull up. These are two pieces by Linda Linton. Linda is a pastel artist. These are not pastel, these are oil. Actually, yeah, Linda works in a number of different materials. I know her as a pastel artist, as an oil artist. I just wanted to read real quickly what she had sent me about these pieces, because it is part of a series. Let me see. She did a whole series of them. The two paintings are their plein air they're called Winter Solstice. She did a whole series of them. There were sunrises after a snowstorm. And she started painting sort of the different variations of leading up to the snowstorm, in the snowstorm, and the sky, and really focused on the sky, the way the sky was changing during the snowstorm as well. So those are two pieces in that. Okay, that is our show. I wanted to thank everyone for being so patient. Thank everyone for joining, for participating in the show, for coming and telling us about your work. You know, the whole experience of viewing art is just enhanced when you hear right from the artist's mouth about, you know, what they were thinking about, what inspired them, their whole process. So I think that just makes it so much more special. You know, we've been talking a lot about how, you know, COVID has changed things, the way that we do things. You know, I'm no longer doing any kind of opening receptions, which makes me sad because it's always great to see people. But I've been replacing it with events like this, where, you know, and to be honest, you really get the opportunity to see the work and learn about the work in an environment like this, rather than at an opening where, you know, the place is packed. You don't really get to talk to everyone. You don't get to see every piece. So in this way, you do get to see this. This is the first of probably about 6 of these that I've done so far. And you know, you can view them all on the YouTube channel. They're all archived. I'll be doing this going forward until something else changes. But you know, I mean, there are some really fantastic artists in the Hudson Valley, and virtual events like this are offering them some exposure that they, you know, would never get by someone just walking into the gallery. So we're literally talking to the world when we're doing these events. So I'm so pleased about that. Wanted to tell you a little bit about Artsy. Artsy is it's a selling platform for brick and mortar galleries. It's a very curated site. So unlike a lot of other sites that carry artists, you don't need to sift through a lot of artwork. It's all very curated for you to see by top-notch galleries around the world. I'm so pleased to be part of Artsy. I've been a member for a little over a year now, so there's a nice catalog of work, a nice inventory of work that has been growing on Artsy. You can the shows are all archived. You can see some of my past shows. I've also been doing some online Artsy exclusives, group shows, and also some solo shows. Right now, I have the Orange show that I mentioned, which is just about to close. The work from this show is up on Artsy with additional works that are just available on Artsy. I have a few solo shows as well. One that just opened yesterday called Whimsical, the Art of Marjorie Magid, which I had spoken about before. Marjorie is an artist here in Socrates, oil and acrylic painter who has a really, really wonderful whimsical style to her. And, you know, I say this every single time, but her work just makes me smile. And when art can really move you to do something, you know, or to just to move you to, you know, feel an emotion or something inside that, you know, things in the outside world won't necessarily do, it just makes it a little more special. And I sort of feel that way about Marjorie's work. It's really wonderful. Also have a solo show of Leslie Bodsey. Leslie, I'm so excited about this. Leslie has a whole series of wall hangings. She calls them, they're sort of drapes. They're made out of acrylic, and you can drape them on the wall and pin them in different directions to create a whole new piece of art. They're almost like skins, like paint skins. So the Red Show that's coming up in December will be the first time that I'm going to be exhibiting one of her pieces from that series. But there are a number of the wall skins that are available on Artsy, as well as a number of her abstract pieces, and just a whole collection of Leslie's work as well. Also on Artsy, we have the Wall Dog series by Arabella Colton, as we were talking about before. The series of photographs from the 1990s in San Francisco, and they were all of an artist who was going around San Francisco, sort of an anonymous artist, painting literally dogs on walls. So Arabella went and photographed those, and it was a great blast from the past. Visually, they're really, really nice. So please have a look at that as well. I think that's it. It's been 2 hours. Thank you all so much for hanging in there and being so patient. Please have a look on Artsy, spend a little time with the work. And then we're going to be doing this again come December for the Red Show. So here's everybody. Thank you all. Come back again. We're, I'm here. So come visit, come see all of the artwork. The artwork is, again, it really deserves to be seen in person. But in the meantime, have a look on Artsy, because you can see this work and you can see some Artsy exclusives and some of my past shows. And I'm so excited about this because, it archives it for me as well, too. So, okay, everyone, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.